What is up, everybody? Chris Hendrickson here, coming at you with the Hendrickson News. And last week, 11 days ago or so, at the time of recording this, the Animal Legal Defense Fund put out a press release stating that the court rules the Iowa Ag-Gag law unconstitutional in major victory for free speech and animal protection. And now, for those of you who are unaware of what Ag-Gag laws are, well, Ag-Gag is a term used to describe a class of anti-whistleblower laws that apply within the agriculture industry. It was popularized by Mark Bittman in April of 2011 in his New York Times column. The term Ag-Gag refers to state laws that forbid the act of undercover filming or photography of activity on farms without the consent of the owner, particularly targeting whistleblowers of animal rights abuses at these facilities. So, to put that into practical context, imagine you are working at a farm and you witness some animal abuse and you continuously see that animal abuse. Well, if you decide to go in with a camera and film that under Ag-Gag laws, you would be in violation of the law because you are filming without consent of the farm owner. And to anyone who is an animal rights advocate or anyone who is against abuse, it's very clear to see that these laws are completely against the First Amendment. They're completely in favor of the perpetrator of the abuse rather than to protect and stop the abuse that's going on. So this is a major victory because traditionally animal advocates and animal rights groups have hired undercover investigators to go on to these factory farms. They get hired and they film and make sure that everything is going smoothly, that there is no abuse happening. But on many occasions, they have witnessed horrendous abuse going on behind those walls on factory farms, and these Ag-Gag laws made it illegal to report this neglect and abuse to the public. But that is now no longer the case in Iowa. So right here it goes into the article. It says, today the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Iowa struck down the Iowa Ag-Gag law, holding that the ban on undercover investigations at factory farms and slaughterhouses violates the First Amendment. In 2017, the Animal Legal Defense Fund led a coalition of animal, environmental, and community advocacy groups in challenging the law's constitutionality. Federal courts similarly struck down Ag-Gag laws in Idaho and Utah as unconstitutional. And this is fantastic because these laws, these Ag-Gag laws, do nothing more than perpetuate abuse. Whether you consume meat or support farming or don't support animal agriculture and don't consume meat, we can all agree that when we see abuse, whether it's to a child, to an animal, to anyone, that abuse should be documented and those perpetrating that abuse should be charged with cruelty and abuse charges. I mean, it seems so common sense that we would report wrongdoing, especially when it comes to harming others. But these laws, these Ag-Gag laws, make it basically impossible for this abuse to be reported in an already tremendously cruel industry. So it's very exciting to see these laws being overturned, that the courts are taking the First Amendment seriously, and that Americans' freedom of speech is being protected with these rulings. I'm just going to go into here with this brief quote. It says, Ag-Gag laws are a pernicious attempt by animal exploitation industries to hide some of the worst forms of animal abuse in the United States, says the executive director for the ALDF, Stephen Wells. Today's victory makes it clear that the government cannot protect these industries at the expense of our constitutional rights. Just, words to my ears that sound great. That is wonderful to hear. I love hearing that because these Ag-Gag laws are so detrimental. And just recently, this came out on January 18th. It's this article from the Des Moines Register. All right, this is one of Iowa's largest newspapers. They state right here, a rose to the plaintiffs who challenge Iowa's Ag-Gag laws and were victorious. The misguided statute is unconstitutional, ruled James Gritzner, senior judge of the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Iowa. Going undercover at livestock confinements, slaughterhouses, and other agricultural-related operations will no longer be a crime in this state. Not that engaging in such activities should have ever been one. All right, this is an incredible show of support from the Des Moines Register, and thank you so much to the editorial team who put this together. It's fantastic because on these issues of being for or against cruelty, we see time and time again, 99% of people are against cruelty. Even if they eat meat, they want animals to be treated kindly rather than cruelly, and it's just common sense. So this is fantastic that the Des Moines Register is getting behind the citizens and getting on the right side of history on this issue. It's really encouraging because they could have come out on the other side and said, you know, these animal rights extremists or whatever are trying to harm our farming interests, and that would have put the farming interests in the industry ahead of morality and being in line with virtues and values of being against cruelty and for freedom of speech and transparency and honesty. So anyways, I just wanted to put this out there. This is incredibly exciting. Thank you so much to the Des Moines Register team. Thank you to ALDF, the Animal Legal Defense Fund, and everyone working on these issues. And thank you to the courts of the Southern District of Iowa. We really appreciate you ruling inside of the Constitution and protecting freedom of speech. Let me know what you have to say on this matter. Do you think the court ruled in favor? Do you think that the court got this one wrong? I'd love to keep the conversation going, so definitely be sure to follow on Twitter. I'll be posting this very soon here. You probably already see it if you're watching this. But let me know what you think in the comments section. Head over to YouTube, subscribe, and if you're on Facebook, be sure to like and follow us at Hendrickson Media, and on Twitter it is at Hendrickson News. But anyways, I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. It's a big win for freedom of speech, and I'm very excited about it. Anyway, stay tuned for more awesome videos from Hendrickson Media.